Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. You can already tell that the vibe right now, man. Like, I'm feeling good. This is what I needed. My soul desperately needed this. What a healing trailer. It was so nice after this week with Fallout 4 to sit down, arms folded, and go, all right, time to get treated beautifully as a Fallout fan. And that looks like what Season 2 is doing. This looks incredible. The lore implications here. Hello, New Vegas, a little civilized. Mr. House ending, we'll chat about it, but there's a lot to pick apart with this trailer. So ladies and gentlemen, let's not wait any longer and dive right into this. The big one for a lot of us was what was happening within New Vegas, because think about it. At the end of Season 1, we see the credits roll and we go through a very destroyed New Vegas. And people were going, oh my God, they did it. They completely destroyed New Vegas. Todd's dream has come true. But then we see a Season 2 teaser and we see New Vegas from the distance. We really don't know what's going on in there yet, though. And this trailer answers some of that. We see Freeside and we see there is a population here. It's, you know, a lot of stragglers and there's, you know, fire coming out of the barrels and everything like that. But Freeside is populated. It looks like the New Vegas Strip also has some sort of civilization, a Deathclaw civilization. So it's still kind of wrecked, but there are people living here, and it looks like it's gradually having life brought to it, because there are certain parts of the trailer where you see more and more people coming in as a massive group. So it might be about taking back the strip, which I think is really interesting. But it's nice to see that there is life here. A lot of people were worried that it was going to be straight up abandoned, and that doesn't seem to be the case here. So I thought this was a pretty big implication that, okay, they've kind of hit the reset button on New Vegas itself, but that there are still people here, and it looks like they're trying to take it back. That's step one, though, because step two, I think, is a way bigger deal, if true. We see the Securitrons fighting against the Brotherhood of Steel. And when we see that happening, all of a sudden that screen changes into the army face. This only happens when you use the Platinum chip in New Vegas as the courier to upgrade Mr. House's Securitron army. And so when we saw that, immediately we're like, okay, we're on that path. Like, the courier finished his mission, but then we see the Ghoul. Not Cooper Howard, the Ghoul, right? So like the current timeline of Fallout Season 2. And on the screen appears Mr. House, which may indicate that they are building off the House Always Wins ending in some way, shape, or form. I know that Bethesda has said that they aren't going to do that. I know the writers of this season have said they aren't going to do that. But now I'm looking at them like, Mr. House is still around. You have the Securitron army with the army faces, with the Platinum chip being used. Like, are you sure you're not building off the House ending, or at least implying that you are? Because there's a lot of telltale signs here. But to me, this feels like the right one if they were to do that. And my philosophy has always been, and though I'll stand open to being wrong on this, is that you have to pick a direction to go in, because if you try to avoid everything that happens within New Vegas, then you say nothing meaningful at all. So I've always been of the proponent of, you have to build off at least the canonical ending, the one that does decide, like, this is where the Fallout timeline is going. I don't think it really hurts what New Vegas accomplishes in its massive choice and consequence. Maybe many of you disagree with that, and I totally understand why many would. But for the TV show, which is doing a great job, like, carrying the timeline forward, for me, like, I was totally in on them maybe building off the House Always Wins ending, and it seems like that's being implied here. Either that, or you finish the job by upgrading the Securitron army, and then any of the endings can happen, and somehow Mr. House lives through all of this, which your guess is as good as mine. But I just thought this was easily, for Fallout fans, for the hardcore, the biggest reveal. Like, Mr. House is still around now, because it was cool to see Robert House in Season 1, like, chilling at the table, like, oh, there he is. And we also saw him, like, in a teaser in the flesh, but now we actually see him, like, proper Mr. House on the screen, current day Fallout. I think that's a huge deal. So that's the part of this I'm so deeply interested in getting answers on, because I don't know if we can really say for sure until season 2 is complete what they're actually doing here. But again, the lore implications are pretty huge here. But it's just nice to see, like, hey, New Vegas still has some civilization. They're looking to probably take the strip back, and there's Mr. House, and you can kind of see where they're carrying the torch forward. So just really exciting. I've had this kind of New Vegas playthrough going on all year. Now I'm going to start a brand new one and just like burn through this game because I am so excited. We see a couple of other interesting things throughout this trailer as well. The NCR remnants are still around and kicking even after the battle at the end of season 1. And in fact, the ghoul does reunite with the NCR, which I found a bit interesting. They talk about restoring hope. So I'd be interested to see what role the NCR plays in this season. I'm expecting something a lot more subdued, to be honest with you all, because of just how season 1 ends, but also like the Brotherhood is starting a civil war, and it seems to be mainly about the strip and the Securitrons, and we really haven't seen any major NCR presence in this season so far. So it looks like they just might make a quick appearance here and there. But then we got an interesting one here in this cloaked figure who's talking in what sounds like a super mutant style voice, but the theories around the Fallout community have been very interesting. It's been everything from Gorus in Fallout 2, who is a intelligent Deathclaw companion who also does wear a big cloak over their head, and they can take it off, but like, I mean, is it Gorus? That would be actually insane. An intelligent Deathclaw helping you out in season 2. I would love to see that. I don't know though. My thoughts, like I think many of you out there, is I feel like you know a super mutant voice when you hear it. And that's immediately what I thought of here. And so I'm guessing this is either a new super mutant character, or is it Marcus? Maybe that would be really interesting. But either way, they kept him cloaked for a reason. And I'm really keen to see who this might be. But we won't have to wait too long to find out. Again, this season is starting in just over a month now. So this actually might be like the last real trailer that we get in the lead up to the launch of this thing. And that's really exciting because there's still a lot of great things answered in this trailer while still leaving questions like this one, like who is this cloaked figure, to the side. So yeah, it could be anyone really, but if it's Gorus, if it's like a Deathclaw companion, that would be insane, because season 2 seems to be a lot about Deathclaws. I mean, we saw in the first teaser trailer, there was a Deathclaw at the end kind of stalking Lucy, but then we also see at the end of this trailer Maximus fighting against a Deathclaw in, by the way, this new sick power armor style that looks very much like put together with a bunch of junk, but then it's got the NCR Ranger helmet on. So I just love the kind of meeting of the worlds there on that power armor style. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of Deathclaws here. So is it crazy to say take it one step forward and give them an intelligent Deathclaw? I don't know, but I imagine this is a super mutant. I feel like this show is hitting a lot of the staples, and like the super mutants are kind of one that they've got to hit soon. And given much of the super mutants moved east, I feel like if we don't see many super mutants this season, then maybe you'll have season 2 at the end tease going to the east, maybe to the Capital Wasteland or something like that. That'd be incredible. One thing we did get official confirmation on, I mean, it was visually implied when we saw like a bunch of Brotherhood of Steel ships crashing into the desert, but one thing we did get confirmed now is that there is a Brotherhood of Steel civil war ongoing. Like, they use those actual words, and we see another elder appear in Kumail Nanjiani, who seems to be like rivaling against Maximus, and it looks like Maximus loses his control very fast because he's like literally running away from the fight and everything like that. We do get to connect some dots as well from the season 2 teaser trailer that we initially saw. For example, when we saw all those ships crashing into the desert, we saw Maximus running away with someone in the power armor, and the question was, who is that in the power armor? And I think it's Thaddeus, because we do see a shot in this new trailer where they're like sitting on the desert, the power armor's right there, and you have Maximus and Thaddeus sitting right next to one another. So I'm thinking that's what's happening there. I also have to shout out Reddit for this one because I did not catch this one, but we do see Lucy escaping the vault in a yellow dress. This is kind of noteworthy because, again, in the season 2 teaser, we did see her waking up in a vault, and we see all the way on the right side of this room is this yellow dress. And then when she's driving on that cart exiting what seems to be the vault completely by herself. She is wearing said yellow dress. So the theory is that Hank, Lucy's dad, has captured her again, has made her safe once more, something along those lines, and she escapes from the vault. Because we also see at one point when the ghoul is walking around New Vegas, he's there with what looks to be Maximus in that NCR style power armor, but there is no Lucy to be found. But then there's shots throughout the trailer of Lucy and the ghoul here. So I'm not sure when and where she gets captured, but it looks like that's what's happening here, and she's breaking herself out. There were a couple other cool tidbits that I wanted to shout out here, like Lucy using the power fist, the way she kind of like cocks it and then boom. Love that stuff. Of course, we see Legion presence in this trailer here. Not a ton to go off of here, but like we see a Legion camp getting blown up, and we really don't know who is responsible for that. So again, this trailer did a really good job of answering a lot of questions that we as hardcore fans had, while leaving a lot on the table to be discussed of like where they could be going with certain things. And of course, we get the confirmation Macaulay Culkin is a member of the Legion. A lot of people already put that one together because there was that, I covered in a video, inspection of his ear. Someone like found a very specific angle of his ear and then put it side by side, and wouldn't you know it, they were dead right. Macaulay Culkin is a member of the Legion. And this is like a crazy full circle moment for many of us. Like I watch Home Alone every single Christmas season. And so to have Macaulay Culkin in a like Fallout show is full circle, but also it's coming out around Christmas time, which is just kind of weird. Anyway, I thought the trailer was fantastic. I just feel like we're getting fed here. This is what it feels like. Remember this feeling. As long as this delivers, of course, this is what it feels like to be taken care of and to be excited as a Fallout fan. Super important to hold on to in light of a lot of things happening recently in the Fallout community. So yeah, let me know what you picked up on in this trailer. I thought it looked great and just a lot of exciting ways this can go. Of course, the biggest conversation is, again, how they're building off of New Vegas and which ending is at least being implied, if any at all. So let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Looking forward to reading your thoughts. Other than that, take excellent care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.